Hello, everybody. And here we have the fourth edition of the podcast for those who believe from Abidjania, the Casa de Dom Ignacio. For many of us, our spiritual home. And today I'm so excited because we have Anja Klink from Holland joining us right across the world. And our Casa family is all over the world. So we are really excited to be in a discussion about how we came to the Casa. Anja, you're very welcome. And we will talk about how you learned of the Casa and how you came here and what you learned here. And also, as the podcast continues, we will explore what you learned here that you're using in your everyday life and what changed for you, because I know the Casa changed everyone's lives for the better. And I'm just so excited to talk to you virtually because we were in Abidjan and we were just talking before we started there about how many people were here. And you were in Abidjan and we never physically met because of all the volume of people from all over the world, 55 different countries represented here at the Casa. So it's just a great pleasure to introduce you here today. And you can start telling us your story now about the Casa and your journey here and what happened. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Grainne. Yeah, when did it start? The journey to Abidjania? I really don't know. Perhaps much earlier than physically arriving in Abidjania.
Yes.
But I have to start my story at a certain point. In 2016, I was very ill, and the doctors thought that I wouldn't make it. But I'm still here, so it was not my turn. I kept saying, and yeah, they advised me to go to a therapist, and it appeared that this woman went to Abidjania twice a year with patients, sick people and people with mental questions or whatever. But I didn't know that. But I was introduced to that woman and I had some conversations with her, and she said, I have the feeling that you have to join me to Abidjania. But I was not fit, and I was thinking, whoa, go to Brazil, you're crazy. That's too much. She said, and the other thing was that in that same period that she organized her traveling to Brazil, it was my 25th wedding anniversary. So, and because I was very happy that I was still alive, and then I was still very happy with my husband. We're now divorced,
Wow, that
but
happens.
that happened. But yeah, I wanted to be at my own party. So I said, yeah, very friendly of you, but I can't join you because I want to be at home with my family and friends. She said, no worry, I bring your picture to the Casa, and that's also a possibility. And blonde as I am, I didn't know anything. I said, okay, here's my picture. And I had to write down my name and my date of birth. And you know it all. We was watching this. So she took my picture to Abidjania, and the 28th of November 2017, she returned to Holland. And she came to me and she said, yeah, I have your picture back, but there is a message written on it.
Oh.
And it was from in Portuguese and in English translated that I had to go or to come as soon as possible for a spiritual operation in the Casa.
Wow.
I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what they asked me. But the first thing I thought, okay, they're out of their mind going to Brazil. I put this letter in a box and left it there. But since I put that letter in the box, the box of Pandora opened. I keep on saying. And
Yes.
since that
Deep.
moment, I got dreams and vibrations in my body and meetings in supermarkets with people. And it was like so much coincidence that I thought, what is happening?
Yes.
But I was also in a rehab period with a therapist because I was very sick at that moment. I'd been very sick. At a point, I was walking on the road and I was literally crying. My God, this cannot be the purpose of my life. Please show me the way.
Help
But you have
me.
to be careful what you ask.
Exactly. You sent your picture here. So what did you expect?
Well, at that day, I came home and I said to my husband, I have to go to Brazil. He said, What are we going to do there? I said, I have no idea. I don't know what it is, but I know that I have to go there. He said, okay, a very analytical guy. He said, okay, let's first check the internet what it is. So, yeah, I saw some interviews and some small videos. And yeah, the urge inside me was pulsating like a magnet.
Oh,
And the same week, we bought 2 tickets. And 2.5 months later, we were in the plane to Abidjan. Didn't know what to expect. Because the other group went with the woman, but I went, just solo with my husband.
good.
And fortunately, I found out that there were people then in the Casa that guide you, showed you the way and what to do. So I was, it was very well organized then. But it was exactly, today is the 29th or the 30th of
30th. Yeah.
March. I found out last week that it was the 28th of March 2018 that I arrived in the Casa. So this exactly 7 years ago.
Excellent.
Yeah, and what happened there, I can't describe. I was walking there and sitting there in the lines, and everything felt perfectly normal to me, as if I
Which
belonged
is
there.
crazy because it's so different from other healing centers. It's so chaotic, and also nobody speaks English that's attending you. You need a translator. So for you to feel comfortable in that environment is a miracle in itself.
I remembered because I thought that I had to go in the first timeline, but the woman who was guiding me there, she said, "No, you've been here on a picture, so you go in the second timeline." So I got straight away when I walked inside my first intervention.
Of
And
course.
I remember that I sat in that room and I closed my eyes, and instantly I thought, in a split second, your complete life can change. And I blinked with my eyes. And at that moment, uh, I saw and felt things that okay, it felt like homecoming, but
Oh,
not in a way of living there, but so secure and safe inside myself
exactly.
that I didn't doubt anything, and it was completely as I belonged there. But I was not visiting any healing places or things before, because I came out of a complete different environment. I used to work in accountancy office. And after that, we had an own company in diving and diving travel organizing around the world. So that was a complete different material.
Yes.
And yeah, still it found as coming home. And yeah, I kept on saying I could write a book about it, because I had, in these weeks that I was in the Casa, I had this small uh,
Journal.
uh,
Like
journal, which
notebook.
I wrote things down, because I thought I want to remember this when I come home. And also I saw visions and pictures with, and I make small uh,
Drawings. Like
like
drawings.
cartoons and pictures and signs and things. And I brought it home. And I put it, when I came home, I put it on my desk and I left it there.
So before you
And
came to Abidjan, I just wanted to ask you this question, Anja. Did you have any spiritual background, or did you feel you were on a spiritual path, Or did you, when you came to Abidjania, were you just so new to this healing center that it was all new for you? Like it was completely different than anything you'd ever done before?
I was raised in Holland in a Christian family.
Mm.
And yeah, Jesus, I was fan of him when I was a child, and I wanted to be a priest, but that was not possible because I was in a Calvinistic church, so there are no priests. So, but I
Oh,
didn't know as a child. One second.
and just while
And
Anja's off there, I had this picture of Jesus I was showing you in the Casa, which is so comforting. And there are many pictures of Jesus. This is one of my favorite. He is there along with a lot of other masters. It's not about religion
so
in the
if
Casa. It's about
no, but
consciousness.
if you have a spiritual background, of I think all religions have their roots in yeah, the spiritual way. And
Yes,
it doesn't, for me, it doesn't matter what kind of religion, but it's all connected with the heart and love, and be good to your neighbor as you are to yourself. That's a
exactly.
challenge sometimes, but okay.
It's hard.
but
And all
but you
roads
asked me,
lead to God. Everything
but
leads to God.
you asked me, was I earlier in this kind of places? The only thing that was remarkable, that was when I was in the hospital, uh, I was not completely unconscious, but far from clear in my mind. But at that moment, the pastor of my mom, who already passed away, my mother, heard that I was seriously ill, and he came to a hospital. And
Oh.
at that moment, he sat next to my bed. He had my hands and did a personal prayer for me.
Oh.
And that I felt it like like water falling over me, but then in as fresh water. And I remembered that moment. I talked later of this moment to him. And
Yes.
the day after that prayer, my blood, yeah, sometimes my English is, I have to look for words. They checked your blood values, what were
Yes,
the
pressure
numbers.
and yes,
Yes, but also if there is different cells or anything in it what doesn't belong there. And after the day after, it starts to to improve.
mm.
So that was strange. And um, when I came out of the hospital, yeah, I asked them, okay, this show me the way. That was the first thing I asked. And yeah, in the period before because that was 2017, and when I arrived in Abidjan, it was 2018. In that year, I met a lot of people that taught me things about healing, about anything about these things, but not that I was visiting places or
Yes, I understand.
that I was on a mission. So that was the first experience I had. And simple as I was, I thought, okay, this is it. Now I
I
can move on.
know. And how long did you stay in Abidjania the first time you came here in 2000 and
The first time was with Easter in 2008. It was
18?
17 days.
Wow.
And I then got the crystal bed. I was so
Beautiful.
impressed what happened with myself under the crystal bed, what I felt, that I said, okay, this is amazing. I have to provide this in Holland to people that also want to experience this for the better of all. So I asked the entity then, is it okay that I bring a crystal bed to Holland? Yeah, what is your plan with it? And
Mm.
I talked about it. So I brought it home, and I came home and I thought, I have it now at my place. And how do people know that I have it?
It's like a portal in your house that is connected to the other side beyond the veil, connected directly to the God energy and the entities It's amazing. It's an amazing connection. You're not the only one who has talked about the crystal beds. They're really, really powerful. And you had a very profound experience in the crystal bed, you told me earlier when we talked.
Mhm.
It changes you. It's
That
many
was the
people
reason
have them
I,
in their homes. I think every
that was
home
the
should have
reason
them.
that I wanted to give it. That's not a word, but to share it with other people. But since the first time in Abidjania, I have two words in my dictionary, and it's called markers and triggers. And the markers show me the way, and the triggers show me the way inside. But the markers for the crystal bed were very clear because I was only thinking, how can I make it open to the world in my hometown that I have a crystal bed? The moment I was thinking about it, I went to a local shop, and the guy knew that I was in Brazil, and he asked, "Hey, Anja, are you back from Brazil? How was it?" I said, "Yeah, that's a long story." And oh, we have a visitor here, my cat.
Oh, I love cats.
And so I briefed him very short. And at that moment, another man stepped in my circle. He said, "Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to listen to you, but this resonates with me. Is it okay that I interview you because I'm a journalist and this is so interesting for people to know?" I said, "Yeah,
Sure.
why not?"
Spread the word.
So
Yes,
it it
good.
came in. I said, "But first, before you publish it, I want to hear it because, yeah,
Who
people can
knows?
write anything."
Sure.
So
Be
there came
careful.
a story of complete occultism and spiritism and
For
hocus
many,
pocus. I said,
for many
"You're not
people,
going to."
this sounds a little bit too crazy because they're not
Yeah.
awake or they're not ready to hear it. But you were awoken in Abidjania and something very profound changed you here, obviously.
But
You brought a crystal bed
we,
home.
I said, "This is not what you're going to publish." He said, "Help me." So together we make a perfect story, and not a make-up story, but
Yes.
a story that resonates, I think, with people. Because in 3 months' time, there were over the 80 people that asked me, "Can I come for a crystal bed session?" And
Wow.
that was amazing. But also the privilege of all the things that the people shared with me, but also that I was available to share it with them. And
And these
yes,
are
you want to
people
say?
who never came to the Casa. They just knew that there was something very special going on with the crystals because we have
Yeah.
crystal energy under our feet here in Abidjania. And we are resonating now more than ever, especially in 2025 with the crystal energy of the planet. It's like a magnet for the healing energy to be multiplied on the planet. It's really important now that we connect with our um, with crystals and also with the healing energy of an unseen world, which is what the Kaza is. We could not see the entities physically, but we could feel them through the work of
Mm.
Joao de Dias. And he always reminded us it is God who heals. I am just an instrument in God's hands. So we were all being used as instruments in God's hands. You to spread the word
Yeah.
when you came back from Holland. But then what happened? You came back again to Abidjania. In those months, you
Yeah,
must have been changed.
no, but all these people came to. I had a room in my house just for the crystal bed sessions, but my background was accountancy. I had nothing to do with physical or mental things. But at a certain point, people asked me, "I have a pacemaker. Can I go under?" So I sent sometimes a WhatsApp message to the Casa. "Hey, I got this question. I don't know." But
Yes,
I thought,
because
yeah,
you were
it
an
didn't feel
expert.
I was no expert at all. I was just a person with good intentions.
And you were
Nothing more.
learning how to help people, which
Exactly.
is a gift from God.
And,
And that's what we
yeah,
need to do on the planet.
but yeah, these all these questions came, and in the meantime, I was evolving too,
Good.
and I thought literally I have. The first time I was in Abidjan, it was for healing sessions for myself because I was physically really not fit yet. So in half a year later, in November 2018, I went back to learn more about the crystal beds, to learn more about how to respond to things, but also to center myself. Because when people tell you something from the inside, from what they experience, and when you are yourself soaked in that story, and it lowers your own energy, then you're not at no value. So that was a thing that I need to learn, and I'm still learning that because I'm an empathic person, and I am now walking the thin line of being empathic towards compassion, and staying
Great.
to trying to center in that and to anchor it. And that's, I think, a lifelong process. But then I literally knew that I had to go back to Abidjania. And then in the meantime, I had all these notes. I was typing because I wanted to remember all the things I experienced and what I learned. Because I thought, yeah, perhaps sometimes in life I experience the same. You never experience the same, but okay, I was thinking that. And I want to read back what I experienced and what I learned from that.
Absolutely.
So I was typing, and in I think in 2 or 3 weeks it was almost 200 pages,
Wow.
which I saved on my computer, and I didn't do anything about it. But then it's like a game. People came for a crystal bath session. Today I was thinking about this or this or this. I was just typing about that myself. And I printed a page for this person and for that woman and for him and for her. So I was spreading all
You were having
just
the
to help.
same experiences or similar in your life because
Yeah, but
Kaza had
in the
brought
same
this to
moment.
you, the
In the same
entity.
moment.
It's
That
amazing.
was the synchronicity.
Wow.
And at a certain moment, a guy came to me with his wife and he said, Anja, where are these pages from? It's very interesting. I said, yeah, I wrote everything I experienced since I fell ill to Abidjania, and the months after, I wrote it down. He said, am I allowed to read it? I said, okay, but it's very personal, so keep it for yourself.
Yes. Initially,
And okay,
yes.
yeah,
Private.
he did. He said, yeah, you shouldn't keep it for yourself. And that was, I think, in September or so.
Mm.
And the only thing he said, you have to send it to a publisher.
Wow.
But the only thing that why I didn't do that was the fear of what someone else would think about it. And yeah,
Yes.
one of the ironic, is that the good
Yes,
word?
it's
Thing
a very
in the
good
book
word.
is one chapter is where God, the love of God is fear cannot exist. So I said to myself, Anja, you have work to be done.
Because we are in fear sometimes. But this is
So
beautiful work because now in 2025, there's so much fear on the planet. And once we recognize that we have a choice in each and every moment, and this is what I learned in the Casa very quickly because I've been here 22 years, that we have a choice in everything we do in every moment to choose love or fear. And when we choose love, we grow and our vibration multiplies. And when we choose fear, we go into this spiral of depression and also on doubt and all the stuff that really brings us down. And we're here to shine our lights. And I believe personally, and I hope you agree with me, that Abidjan, when we went there and had the courage to take the leap of faith into the unknown, which was Abidjan for you in the beginning, because it brought you there because you were sick, that we learned how to navigate the world by choosing love and compassion and helping our neighbors as our, loving our neighbors as ourselves. And it's all about love. All I felt in the Casa was love from everybody. So it really changed my life. And I think by the sounds of things, changed your life. And now you're changing other people's lives. So this is my experience. And it's very similar to all of the sons and daughters that I've talked to. And you had the guts to go back after how many months in the same year, which is, you were called like
7 months. Yes, but after that, I thought, okay, I came home after the second time. Okay, I go back. I don't know when, but then, yeah, I think it was not the plan that I would come back ever. But I had it in my mind, and even in my wallet, I kept a note of a Brazilian real, of 10 real, for the moment I went back.
Wow.
But the year after, I think I ran too fast in this energy. So
Wow.
I fell, literally, and I broke my kneecap.
Oh,
So
you were
I had
pushed.
to undergo. Yeah, no, I was trying to save my husband in his mental processes, and instead of letting him fall, I I fall. It was like a booby trap. There was a wire over the road which I didn't see, and I was, and
Wow.
I broke my kneecap, and I had several surgeries, and yeah, that was not the best period of my life.
Sure.
And my marriage was also broken then, and COVID came, and everything. I had to move my hometown, and everything. It was like a roller coaster. So
Yes.
okay, and at the moment, every time I was thinking I want to go back to Abidjan. We had several times contact, and I even asked you in the meantime to, in the period of the surgeries, literally the surgeries on my leg, to send me the passiflora, which was also a funny thing because of all the
Fantastic.
passiflora you sent all over the world. Mine was lost. Can you remember? it it came and then because it didn't arrive, you sent a second package,
I remember.
and at the same day that the second package arrived, the first package arrived with a zillion post stamps of all countries that it has been. So I had 4 pots of passiflora then. It was,
They have a
it
sense
was
of
like
humor. God has a sense of humor.
no, it was every time that I wanted to push things with my mind. It was like they say, slow down, Anja. It's not, the time is not ripe for this yet. But yeah,
Wow.
I'm I wanted to do some things, and now I'm still learning. You can't force things. You have to not to be patient in a way, to lean back and don't work at all, or that's not what I mean.
Mhm.
It's uh, I have to learn to trust the process and not
Exactly.
figuring things out, because it was, yeah, what I said is first the breaking of my knee and the breaking of my marriage. I had to leave the house. COVID came. I had COVID myself. Then I wanted to travel to Brazil, and this president had this funny regulations of visa. So I wasn't allowed to. I'm not a criminal, but I was not allowed to come into Brazil.
No,
So
it's just you were
what I did,
stopped. But now
what I
is the
did,
right time to come. I'm really excited you told me you're coming soon.
yeah, but a few months ago, I looked in my wallet and I saw this 10 real bill.
Reals.
I said, Rhea, I don't need you anymore. So I put it in a charity box. and, and then you gave this message that you were starting the podcast, which resonates so high with me that I decided, and I start dreaming again of Abidjania. And in the same week, I said, now I'm going. So I bought a ticket, and now I'm coming back in 6 weeks. Today, 6 weeks.
Great. And also, it's a calling. The time is right for you to come back. A lot has changed here, as we discussed, but the energy is so high now. It's very hard to explain. It's almost like the more chaos on the planet, the more the energy is rising here. I mean, here is a portal, and it's so open and so tailored now by God and all the entities to give us what we need to really navigate this very challenging time on earth, and to stay centered in the heart center. I think this is what Abijani was always about. But the seeds that were planted in you in 2000, before you came here, even in 2018, and in me before I came, I have great stories of way before I came. Amazing miracles happened. But something was ignited in me. I woke up, I went, just it was almost like an epiphany. I was like, oh my God, everything I saw and did was on another level. It was almost like they lifted the veil up and you could see another dimension. The sun is always shining here. Even the rain is so powerful, it's cleansing. Now we're at the end of the rainy season. The clouds in Abidjan, they have hearts in them, angels. I'm just looking up now at the sky, and everything is flourishing. Flowers, birds. We saw monkeys yesterday, and the big array of azules. The huge. Everything is beautiful. The huge, big parrots, toucans. I mean, this is like an amazing paradise to be in. Even though the town has crashed economically, it's not about economics. It's really about an awakening of our spiritual journey, that materialism really doesn't matter. We came with nothing, we leave with nothing. But what is most important is service, and love. And in the walls of the entities room is written in Portuguese and English the words of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. To love in all things and to serve in all things for the greater glory of God. And you, by helping people with your crystal bed, and also just by you talking there, you're really helping people, talk about your journey, which helps them. And this podcast is helping people, not, we're just talking about how we are part of the same family. We are part of something so big, and we experience different things, but we have one thread in common, and that is the huge awakening that we had here in Abidjan, and put us on a path that is so high and beautiful. Less of the ego, more love, and more service.
I have to tell you a funny thing, because I told you earlier about the markers and the triggers. Because of the divorce, I had to leave my house. But in Holland, it's very difficult to find another place because it's overcrowded. So I already responded for, I think, 62 houses, nothing.
Wow.
And out of the blue, I don't know exactly how it went, but this woman came. There's a house in Oudenbosch. That's a small town in the south of Holland. I was here once before. I didn't know anything of this place. And it appeared that there was a house available, and I was lucky to have it. But I thought, what am I going to do in Oudenbosch? I have never been there before. I don't know anyone, and it's a lockdown. How do I get to know people? Everything was locked up here because everything was closed. But okay, I needed a house. So okay, I moved from one town to the other. And then I start exploring my place. It appeared that we have a basilica here. And all the roads and the streets are named after Jesuits.
Oh my God, that's incredible. You know, Saint
From
Ignatius of Loyola. I have a
It's
lovely
not a
picture.
stranger here, but we have Aloysius Hof here, and we have Vatican City. Not that I'm a fan of Vatican, but
Saint
all the
Ignatius.
streets are marked with St. Paul's, John the Baptist, and I
Who is a
was
patron
thinking
of the
so much.
Casa with Dom Ignacio. And I have his picture here. This is the one in the Casa where his eyes follow you wherever you go. This is amazing. I didn't know that. That's incredible. So you
And
were
actually,
drawn there.
I follow since 2 years Tai Chi. I don't know if you know this. This is
Yes,
a kind of
beautiful.
sport. And that's in a former, where the youngsters who wanted to be a priest or whatever. But the in that building they have these classes, but this energy there is amazing. When
Wow.
I step over the threshold there, it's like I'm in the current. But in the
Wow.
beginning, I felt like I'm in a hostile city. I don't belong here, and I don't need to be here, and I was mixed up. But now, yeah, there is a reason because it's also a multicultural place with a lot of nationalities and people, yeah, like all over the world. They offend each other, and you got this racial things. But yeah, because I myself am more anchored in this. I
Mhm.
think there is a reason that people are also moving to places or visiting places. For example, I was in, and this is completely a different subject. In last May, I was in Bosnia. You have these pyramids there,
Oh,
and
yes.
I was having a meditation there, and there were two young guys, about 35 years old, walking barefoot in the grass, and we had this lovely conversation. And it appeared that they were Austrians, and they were in Sarajevo in the army. And I was thinking, huh? What are you doing on a meditation place? He
Sure.
said, when we are sent to Sarajevo to keep the vibes serene, we need also a place to keep the harmony and the serenity in ourselves. So we come here every week to stabilize. And we had this beautiful conversation. And that's what I think that I was there at that moment when these two guys were there, and that was synchronicity and love, and there was this interaction. I gave him also the marker on his Google for Abidjania, which he loved to visit because it opens at that moment, and it was
Yes.
so beautiful. This meetings of people all around the globe,
Yes, and it's all a
and
sense of
that's something.
community. Like the Casa, when we came from all over the world, nobody is a stranger. Everybody pulled together in the Casa. Of course, there was a lot of triggers in Abidjania where, you were triggered, by the rules or by somebody you met on the street who was not on your same wavelength, or we needed to be non-reactive, which I became very quickly, staying in the heart center, trying not to be pulled, either way, it's just staying in the heart. You were saying about triggers, and also we were just thrown together like this huge, big community and this family, and we had a lot in common because we were there for healing and to try and better ourselves and mind, body, and spirit. I mean, you physically were sick, but a lot of people had emotional problems or mental problems, and the Casa helped everybody, no matter who they were, where they were from, whatever religion. There was no such thing. Everyone was welcome. There was never discriminated against anybody, even atheists who were like, there is no God. And I believe that's why the psychic surgeries were taking place, because people were like, there is something happening here. But I never needed to see any psychic surgeries because things were happening to me on a very high level that can only be explained by the presence of the God energy or the Christ consciousness. No coincidences. The praying mantises in the infirmary, um, meeting people who I felt like I'd known before. Like I was walking up to people saying, "Welcome back to Abidjan," and they were saying, "This is my first time here." And I either dreamt about them or I know them from past
Yeah.
lives, which I didn't really believe in before I came to Abidjan, but there were so many synchronicities, as you call them, very, very beautifully, that of course there was something bigger bringing us together, which was drawing us into a place of learning and growing. And it was painful. A lot of the stuff that happened, the growing pains, the ego, having to try to dissolve the ego, which is a work in progress. But you coming back here, you will find such beauty. Oh, I love her. She's
Do you
amazing.
see him? He has been
Him,
in the Casa too on photo.
of course.
7 years ago, he has lymph cancer, and he was
Healed.
almost, yeah, no, he was almost passed away then. And at that day, I had crystal bed sessions, and that day, 3 persons visit me by accident. What's wrong with this cat? I said he's very ill, and yeah, I think these are his last days. He actually belongs to my daughter, and they asked me, am I allowed to give him some energy? And they pet him, and I sent also a picture of the cat. I think I asked you, is it allowed to bring in pictures of? And
Yes.
you or someone else said in the early days in the Casa there were more animals than people. So
There still
and
is a lot of
yeah,
animals.
and
People
he
send
recovered
pictures of
his
dolphins, their
yeah,
dogs, elephants, and I
and
brought them to the entity, cats, dogs, everything.
but
And
he's now
brought them,
15 years
and
old.
they never said, the entity often said to me, everyone is a creature of God and needs healing on whatever level, and they all got helped. And you're right, your cat
Exactly.
was given an extra, I mean, still with you, which is beautiful, and was
Yeah.
healed. And they can see things, the way they react. And a lot of them go under the crystal beds. A lot of people have pets who just literally go and sleep under the crystal bed when it's on, so they
They
are
do it.
receiving.
Yeah, they lay there the whole day together. As every time when I have to when I have a guest for the crystal bed, I have to clean all the room, change all the sheets. But I have a special thing what I put over when the animals are there. But for some reason, people who are allergic to cats, they have no problem when they're under the crystal beds. So
It's
it solves itself.
it's amazing
So I
because
don't know
there
what.
is an energy there that is inexplicable. There's something bigger going on than just the physical world. And I think when we start to realize that there is another dimension, and here in Abidjania in particular, I find it now more than ever that you can almost reach out and touch the other side of the veil. In the valley, when I walk in the evenings, it's so like the Garden of Eden. Everything is resonating. The birds are singing. You see all the toucans and all it's just heaven. And walking on the path, the colors change all the time. And my friend who walks with me, Isabel from Dos Anjos, she takes up a lot of the stones and is going to use it for paintings because the colors are so magnificent. She's a painter as well. And she's been using all of these, the ground, and it's all crystal energy. There's huge, I keep tripping over big chunks of crystal in the valley. So we're walking in a crystal environment, which attracts a magnetic force that cleanses us, mind, body, and spirit. Like the crystal bed, our chakras are being cleansed and realigned into the heart center. So it's all about healing. Everything that happens here, and even the animals here seem to be on another level of consciousness. They are really are. We have two rescued animals off the street here, and these are entities, I believe, as well. And they just know when you're hurting, and they're with you, like your cat knows when you are feeling. We're not always up. feeling a little bit delicate, they come and just love you, And it's amazing, really. It's all connected. It's all an awakening. And I think for you to come to the Casa at, the later stages of when the medium was there, and now when you come back without the medium, you will find the energy is upshifted. There has been this huge upheaval and gigantic shift upwards on the planet. I think this dimensional shift that we are going through, some people are finding we're getting rid of the old world and rebirthing a new world. And a lot of people, have been leaving the planet, and that's sad because I know that they're not far away because I feel all my guides, I feel my guardian angels. I know they're with me, and I know when I meet my guardian angel, it's there sweating, going, "Oh my God, what you doing today?" But they are there with me all the time, and I do the rosary in the Casa Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, and I can feel the highest vibration going out into the world because we need it. It's like a weapon. Prayer is the oxygen of the soul, like you were saying when you were prayed over. And the prayers in the Casa really help to lift us up from the depths of this material world that is so challenged right now. And everybody, money, 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 just all this, no housing problems, crisis, earthquakes, it's biblical times, of course, but we are meant to be here. And you certainly having the courage to come here, and now the courage to come back, because some people think, oh, I can't go back because there's no medium there or whatever. And with respect to the medium, not that we never needed him. I wouldn't have gone 22 years ago to look at a statue of Saint Rita in a chair, because I brought my sister, because I lacked faith. But now my faith is unshakable because of all I have experienced here. And not only in the Casa, but walking to the waterfall is amazing. And the people I met and having the cafe and everything just supported me in my healing awakening and my journey, which is a work in progress. I'm not perfect yet.
But you realize that the world outside is a reflection of what has changed inside you.
You nailed it. Exactly. Yeah. And it's all coming to the surface now. Everything is coming up.
And I want to repeat what Bob in the podcast said last week. And that's sometimes the thing I forget is that we may ask. And if you want to change something inside yourself, what you experience, you just need to ask. But in our tradition in Holland, they say children that ask, they get nothing. So we were very, very shy and waiting. And now I ask for it. And then, for example, the first time in Abidjania, I literally wasn't able to figure things out. So I literally asked, please, God, or whatever you are, give me a bit of clarity and bright view on this subject. And in that night, it was so crazy. I was laying in bed and I woke up and I thought, my God, what a lot of light in this bedroom. Who is outside putting all these lights on? So I went outside and there was no light on. Because I thought in the garden, sometimes people put all the lights on for robbery or whatever, but there were no lights on. So I went back to bed. I was laying with my head turned to the other side. I thought perhaps then it's less bright, but it was still light. Then I put a sleeping mask over my face. And it was still. I thought, okay, Anja, you asked for more bright light and clarity. What will this show you? But it was literally so much light in the middle of the night.
Wow. That's
And
beautiful.
I have a lot of humor inside, and every time when I experience things like that, and that started in Abidjania, then okay, what were you asking, Anja? Be more aware of what you ask. Define what you mean.
Yes, and
Because
be careful what you
the,
ask for because you will get
yeah,
it,
because
not
the
in the way you
asking is
think,
sometimes yeah,
not in
but it
the
was
ego, but in the heart. And so
yeah,
many people have had woken up in the middle of the night, and there has been monks or physical manifestations of the entities of the Casa, Dom Ignacio, St. Francis of Assisi, walking across their room. And I mean, that's, other people's stories are similar to yours. You had the light, but some people have witnessed who never in their lives before ever saw any visions or have never been on a spiritual path and have had Dom Ignacio standing beside them as clear as day, um, working on them in the middle of the night, but they never had any fear. This is the beauty. They said it just seemed like a vision or a dream. And then when they woke up the next day, this lady in particular from Sweden, I think, um, Dom Ignacio stuck a scissors up her nose in the middle of the night. Medium Joao was nowhere near her posada or her room, and she woke up with blood on the pillow and on her nose. So it wasn't a dream, it actually happened. And she was freaked out.
yeah,
She was like, and I said, it was something you needed to learn that they are there.
yeah.
And, maybe you asked for it on some level, but now she said, I'm a believer now. I'm a believer now. And so many
Yeah.
miracles, and even the small little things that we are, grateful for. Like gratitude is a magnet for miracles, because when we go back and say thank you for all we have received here, then it just multiplies. The abundance multiplies. There is nothing to fear. We are not. We are so loved by the incredible power of the God consciousness. And I'm a big Jesus fan myself, not because I'm a recovering Catholic, but because I have witnessed such incredible power of the Christ energy in and the Christ light in Abidjania. And I have witnessed things also, no more than yourself, that are so far out of left field for me, who was a big non-believer when I went. I was like very skeptical. I said to the pharmacy when I went with my sister, her herbs are the same as mine, and she is sicker than I am. Why would I get the same herbs? But I didn't know anything about vibration and how they were imprinting their DNA onto my herbs, which I've been taking a lot. And they've really helped me over the years. And I'm glad you got your double whammy, your double amount when I sent them to you, because I do send herbs all over the world and you get them when you're meant to get them. But I know there have been delays to COVID and stuff, but I find the connection is really, really strong between the passiflora and my energy field. It really keeps me centered, but I'm very consciously taking them. I'm not just popping them. Oh, I forgot a few, popping them. I'm actually stopping, honoring the moment. I'm saying thank you for the healing energy through this medium of passiflora, the Kaza herbs, and I drink them with Kaza water when I'm here. And I know that they are going into all of my mind, body, and spirit and really elevating me. But I consciously take them. I don't just pop them and go, yeah, thanks. I say a little prayer.
Yeah. You know what while you are speaking now comes in my mind, and perhaps you saw it too. There was a film in 2017, and I hadn't heard of the Casa then. It was about a priest and a religious church, and they provided to people passiflora or belladonna, and
Oh,
that's the opposite. But in this
poison.
film, yeah, that's poison. But in this film, I don't know exactly how it worked out, but I made at a certain point, I said, because they send this belladonna over the world to attack people. I said, what is a better idea to send Passiflora over the world to heal people and give the good vibrations through? And then a year later, I discovered in the Casa that people from all over the world came, and they were also having the possibility to use the Passiflora, and they brought it home to their countries. And I was sitting there, I was thinking, this is about my movie, not about the movie that I watched on television. But I said literally then in my mind how good it would be to give people Passiflora to calm their mind and to ease their system and to spread love, because yeah, the name Passiflora, it's flourishing of passion, and the
It's the
passion is
passion of
from the heart.
Christ. I wrote
Yes.
articles about it, and I will revive them. The actual passion flower has symbolism of the crucifixion of Jesus, and it's called the Passion of Jesus. It has triangles in it, of course, and it also has 12 apostles, the 12 or actually maybe 11 flowers for the 11 the apostles that I don't know why they put Judas out of there, but also and then the um, the things that are coming off it are from the whipping of Jesus in the on the scourging at the pillar, and it's all about the last days of Jesus and the crucifixion. 3 nails, the triangle is the 3 nails. If you look at a passion flower, they're so beautiful, and the symbolism in them is all about the Christ consciousness and how Jesus's last few days played out on earth, and they are so beautiful, and the colors of them, and they're growing on the way to the waterfall, and I often just stop and just look at them in awe. They're miraculous, and the fruit is beautiful because it's very calming, and that's why the passion flower was chosen, the symbolism of it because of the Christ consciousness. And the Casa is not a religious center. It is from all walks of life. Everybody is welcome, no matter what religion or no religion you have, or creed or belief system. The beauty was that everybody came and we learned from each other, Buddhists, Muslims, because, Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad were all teachers of love. Their religion was love. So we forget that, because the religious wars in the world are a waste of time and useless, because it's all in the name of God, which is pretty stupid, because it's not the God consciousness. But I'm praying for peace, and I know the world seems very hard to navigate now, but once we multiply our highest vibration, that I was awoken in the Kaza, and I never thought I'd be praying 22 years later and talking to you about this. This is like, for me, God knows where I would be. I would be dead if I hadn't gone to the Casa. The Casa saved my life. I was a party animal, and I was very fond of drugs and drink alcohol. And I know that they saved my life, and for a reason. And the purpose in our lives, as you said before we even came on the air, is to love. And in service, we love each other, because we are all part of the same shining web, the God consciousness. We are children of God and the source. And that's the truth. We are all in it together. And the color of our skin doesn't matter, or our religion. So I learned that before the Kaza. I was never a racist, but this is all really boiling up now for us to really help without, brainwashing anybody. I mean, some people think we were in a cult. I mean, I got a lot of flack, for my family saying, "Oh, you're in a cult in Brazil," but I'm not. It's not a cult. It was really part of my spiritual awakening, and still is, and it's my spiritual home, and I'm very happy to share this with you.
Yeah. And you asked also in I don't know where I think in your Abidjania connections, what is for us now the meaning from 2025, what we learned and how we bring it forward.
Yes.
And for me, I can only speak for myself. It's so quite simple. It's just that inner compass in myself. Is it fear or is it trust?
Okay.
Am I relaxed in this situation? Can I center myself, or am I going to turmoil because of what happens around me? And as at the moment I experience this arousal around me, it's like I pull myself back and said, okay, centering, Anja, centering. And at the moment I do that on a conscious level, I see that all people, animal around me calm down too in the most strange situations. Because here it's also sometimes noisy and yeah, people are fighting or quarreling or arguing or whatever. But it starts in myself.
There, and is it? You think this is what you learned at the Casa to help you to go forward and to be able to face into what is coming in the world and the challenges that we are facing now in the world. That we are in 2025. There's a lot more. There's a lot more natural disasters. And we're also experiencing a huge awakening. Many people refuse to be awake because they're drowning themselves in drugs or alcohol. But I feel that we are at a watershed in the world. There are those who will go forward and multiply this very high vibration, and then the others will just, not be awake. And it's not our job to wake people up. We have to do the work ourselves. And I think that's what the Casa taught us, really, to be so not independent, because we're all dependent on each other, but to be so awake to what is happening on the planet. And if you can't help somebody, please don't hurt them. That's what I really learned. Some people are just, they trigger you, you're beyond help, and I just send them love and walk away. But a lot of people I can help, and whoever I can help, I do. And I think that was really multiplied in me in the Casa, and the guilt that I felt as a Catholic growing up, kind of dissolved when I was here. I wasn't helping people out of pure, you're going to go to hell if you don't help people. I was helping people out of pure love and not guilt. So I learned that here. I learned so much in the Casa, and I'm so grateful that we can now talk about how this is moving us forward into 2025 onwards, because everything is going to intensify on the planet. There is no doubt that every week brings another, or every day brings another disaster, earthquakes, America, and so we're really, the Casa has helped us to go forward into a bigger mission for us, this is what I'm trying to help other people to really sort of wake up to the fact that we are now in a time where it's crucial that we really reach out to each other and help each other find peace, because we're all in this together. Do you understand? Yeah, that we're all in this big world together, and we're part of the same source. We're all children of God.
I used to say that was my weakness, because I felt everything. And now it's my goal to transform that I feel it, but that it doesn't empty me, but enrich me in a way.
Yeah, and also you just keep doing what you're doing, and people coming to you for crystal beds and everything is part of you
Very
loving
simple.
everybody and helping each other, you know. And yeah, this is exactly what we are trying to instill in people, to remember that what we learned at the Casa is actually, it was a great teacher. It was a school of life. And there's no part of the human condition that doesn't involve lessons. And we're still learning. But the Casa really put us on our spiritual path to help each other, and particularly now. I think these podcasts are really helping people to remember this. And I love it because for me too, to remind me of how I take nothing for granted anymore. And just by talking about this learning and your experiences with the Kaza, it's going to help somebody, many people, maybe even just one person. But it's just so beautiful for us to connect because we have a lot in common. And I know that we never met each other, but we will in the future. And I know that the work we do in different parts of the world is elevating the consciousness. And this is all that's required. No big, sweeping speeches or oh, this big miracles. I mean, it's the little things like this. This is a little miracle that we're experiencing now, that we are spreading the consciousness of God out there into the world as a reminder of we're not alone, have no fear, everything is in divine order, and we will be fine. Everything is all right as it is, and we support each other. We're part of a community, the Kaza community, and it goes out beyond the community into our families as well. I mean, most of my family never came here, and I still can pray for them without intruding on their lives. And they are receiving from the divine power what they need, whether they know it or not. But I'm not here to interfere with that. I just want to raise the level of consciousness among us. And your crystal bed is helping people, and you're also very your life is an example of how you were healed here, and you're going to be going to another level of healing when you get here soon. And it's so high, the energy in the portal of the Casa now, that it's pouring into the universe. I'm bringing a lot of pictures. I'm doing some surrogate interventions, and people are literally sending me their experiences, which are amazing. It's like they are having, like you, dreams or visions, or nighttime. They're dreaming about the entities or people that they have forgotten about, or people that they don't know. So, in their dreams, and it's healing. We're going up more and more levels of consciousness, and we're shedding all of this, transmuting the energy that no longer serves us. So we're cleaning ourselves up a bit.
But it's also sometimes for me a bit painful because I was always the person that tried to hold things together in families and friendships. But now I gave myself permission to let go, because it doesn't sometimes resonate anymore. But then you also I feel sometimes the grief of letting go. Yeah. And that's a part that I'm learning now, that it's okay, and that there's literally developing space for new things. And that's a bit was for me a bit scary, frightening, because we as a human being, I can speak for myself, we are used to stay with what's safe, or what was common for ourselves. And now, because I leave a lot of behind people, but also well-known living circumstances, and literally looking forward, stay in the now, in the present. Exactly. And empty myself. Okay, there's room for new. But that's I'm not not a scary one, but sometimes I have to speak to myself. Okay, Anja, keep your head up and have courage and trust and trust. And
Yes, we
then it
have to
works
keep
out.
reminding ourselves.
Yeah, I have to do that. Yeah,
Yeah, me
because
too.
sometimes it's
Remembering
overwhelming.
that everything is okay. It's all part of the divine plan, even though it looks a bit, why would God have wars? But we are humans, so we forget how
Yeah,
flawed
but
we are and how
a few
we.
months ago, a person said to me, and I don't know if he or she invented it, but or that it comes out of a book. And it was said, when you would have created this problem with your mind, you cannot solve it with the same mind. So
Exactly. You're fighting
draw a
fire
line.
with fire.
Yeah. So draw a line and open up for what's coming next.
And I think
Yeah,
you
that.
really nailed it there when you said to let go, because St. Ignatius of Loyola, who I knew nothing about before I came to the Casa, he seems to be following me around now, which I'm grateful for. He talked all the time about surrendering to the divine power, letting go, handing everything over to a power greater than us, because we have no control over anything. So we just give it away. We just
Yeah.
surrender it, let it go into the cosmic energy field and let it be transmuted. So this surrendering is part of our becoming lighter, because we are transmuting this heavy energy, and we have to keep reminding ourselves. Everything you're saying is just beautiful, because it I can relate to everything, and I'm sure our brothers and sisters who are watching this can relate to everything. And just to wind up, because we could talk forever, I'm just really enjoying meeting you here on, this is our first time. It's exciting to communicate, and your cat is there just loving it, and your openness and your journey is really what it's about. Everybody has a different experience, but it's the same. Life is a classroom, a school, and it's almost like we're graduating into a university now because of all we've learned at the Casa. And we are holding this high vibration on the planet while everything else just seems to be falling away. And not that we're special or that we're egomaniacs. It's just that when we love and serve, the rewards are immeasurable, but we don't, as I always say, birds don't sing for applause. It's in our nature to be, um, you know, to react and to, sometimes we get mad or we go down into that, abyss of like, oh, doubt, faith, fear, not no faith, fear. And now we are trying to stay as elevated as we can, so we can help each other along. And particularly when we heal ourselves and work on ourselves, we then can go out and heal others. But you're doing the work yourself. You went to Abidjan. You took the leap of faith to come here. So congratulations, because it's a scary thing to do. You had courage to come here and change yourself. We don't like hearing letting go of stuff. We like all our little
It
comforts.
was literally stronger than me, the drawing to Abidjania.
Yes.
And yeah, my sister, who passed away in 1994, and sometimes I hear her say about my mom. Mom was a very courageous woman, and then I say to myself, when my mother could do things, I can do it. And I think this is the same for all of us, because it's us who stand in the way of doing things. We
Yes.
think that it's something outside of us, but it's not. As at the moment you give yourself the permission to do from the heart,
Yes.
to get all the help and need from places you will never expect it.
It's amazing.
And that's what I learned day by day now.
Yes, this is beautiful because we have
Yeah.
within us the divine spark that has been ignited, and only we can do it, but we cannot do it alone. And this beautiful sense of community that we have with the Casa brothers and sisters that we met through the years here is now coming together to fight the good fight, to multiply peace. I mean, who wants war? Nobody, only the people who are making money out of war and who are not awake. So our job is to really multiply this high vibration on earth, which is what you're doing and your cat. And I try to do it as well. So,
he's my catalyst.
yes, 8? No, how many years?
He's 10.5, and Dobby, who you saw earlier, is next month 14.
Wow.
And this
See how much beautiful energy they are pouring forth. Oh, wow. Look at those eyes.
Sitting here, the
My
complete
heart is
conversation.
so open. Oh my God.
Yeah, but he knows your voice, because at the moment your voice is on the podcast with Bob or Daniela last week. They show up. They feel the vibration, and at the moment I put the crystal bed on, wherever they are in the garden, they run inside and they feel it. So that's fun.
They see things we don't see. They work on vibration, which is what we need to learn from our animals, and our pets, and love them as much as they love us, So it's been amazing talking to you. Anja, you've really opened your heart for us here now, and this will help a lot of people. And your perspective is different than everybody else, but it still has a very important place in the world. So we are here to really rise by lifting others, And I'm reminded again, and I think I said it before, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, who had a really hard time every day in the dark night of the soul. She struggled with her faith. She said, if we cannot find peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other, which I think says it all, really. So we need to remember that we all belong in the same family, And the Kaza has brought us together.
I want to thank you too, and all the ones who were in front of me, Bob and Danielle, and the first guy, I forgot his name, but he was also very, everything in every podcast till now, I find something that resonates with me. And it at the moment it resonates, it multiplies.
Yes.
And that's what I think that is the as even I don't know if there's a purpose of doing things like this, but for me that's the purpose of becoming more centered and aware of what I'm doing.
Good. It's a reminder.
A reminder. That's the word.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding. Yeah. And I hope that we can use this YouTube or the other things for connecting, because we're not always able to travel for visa or whatever reasons. But this is a good alternative. And especially during the COVID time with the meditations, it was my daily routine to check in for an hour. But because everyone was locked in, and at a certain point it made me do something what I was not used to do. There was a group of old people that literally saw nobody because the family was not allowed to travel, etc., etc. And I thought, what you can do, Grainne, by YouTube, I can do in this small village. And I all the regulations of 2 meters between people, and I put on every bench a candle 2 meters between all the people to get all these old people together and have a small music play and then go home again. But just to connect, nothing special, but just
Beautiful.
to
This is
don't,
beautiful
because
energy.
people were feeling lonely then. And
Yes.
fortunately, things are opening up, but it's
Yes,
still
and
so.
we are
So I
all
want to,
the same. We are connected, the human condition. We are all part of the same family.
yeah,
And this huge God consciousness and the ancestors are with us. And of course, as we go forward into the uncertainty of the world, I mean, it was always uncertain, but now it seems to be a little bit unhinged. And now the earthquake, the earth is moving, and all the equinoxes and all the sun flares and everything, we seem to be challenged more, but we are well equipped for what's coming, and we are
what I want
ready.
to
We
say.
are ready.
For every,
Yes.
for every problem, there is a solution. Only sometimes we don't see the solution yet.
Exactly. And we have nothing to
Thank you
fear.
very
Thank you
much.
for reminding us of that. There is nothing to fear. Yes. So thank you, Anja. And this has been amazing. Again, another beautiful sharing. And I'm really in gratitude to you for just now. I feel like we're just sisters. And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, you know.
I hope we can meet in May,
Yes,
and
me
otherwise
too.
next time. Thank you very
Yes.
much, and I
Thank you,
hope you
darling.
have a
Obrigada from my heart.
thank you very much. Bye bye.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.